Welcome back. Now we're going to be moving into 4-3, which you're going to see the interface is a lot alike, but we're going to be dealing with reports. And reports is all about output. It's not an interface where we can edit Bob Lingle's wages or change somebody's address or add a new employee or do any of those type of things. This is more about getting the output for printing or sending something to PDF or exporting to Excel or one of those type of things. So it's about getting the output maybe of a query that we ran, right? So, and making it look professional and a little bit more easy to read. So we're going to go through like we did with the other process of forms of showing how we can use a wizard to do this or create one from scratch. So you'll notice this is back to the first one with our agents and our listings that we've worked with before, but we're going to show you the report wizard. So again, it's under create. Now we're going to move over to this reports group. And you can see we've got some different options. We've got just being a report. We can start from scratch. Even labels where you can do mailing, but we don't get into that in this chapter. But we're going to start with the report wizard. And you'll see this looks a lot like we looked at with our forms. Now this is not bound, which means it is bound in a sense that we're pulling the data from a table or a query, but we're not doing any editing, so we have a little bit more flexibility to where we don't have to add all of the fields if we choose. We are going to use the listings, and what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and add all of them, but let's say we really aren't concerned with seeing the listing agent number, so I'm going to use the single one to move that one back. Okay, and I don't want to see construction, so I'm going to move that one back. And I don't care about year built or the garage, and I'm going to come up here to date listed. I'm not too concerned with that one as well. So these are on the right, the only fields that I really want to see. I could have added those one at a time. I added them all and then removed. Either way would be fine. So when I choose next, my next option is, do I want to do any grouping? I'm not going to group any on this one. I'll show that to you later. And it'll go to next. And I'm going to sort by list price. So I choose, these are the ones that I added. So I'm going to do list price ascending. And I'm going to choose next. Tabular is the default. We're going to stick with that. We're going to go ahead and make it portrait. Choose next. This up here becomes the title that we want. I'm going to go ahead and do listings hyphen report wizard. And I'm going to preview it after I choose finish. And there's an example of a report set up the way that we want. Notice we sorted by list price. It became the first column automatically, sorted lowest to highest. Okay, and that's because we did the sorting on that. If I wanted to look at page 2, I use that. You can see there that is. Looks much more professional, easy to read, and we only included the information that we want. So that's one way you can do this. Now another way is, let's say I want to do a blank report. So I go create and blank report. Look there. We've seen this before, right? So I go show tables, and on this one, I'm going to choose the listings again. So I hit the plus sign, and here's the ones I'm going to add for this one. Listing ID, and it builds it as we go. List price, square footage, beds, baths, okay, address, city, garage. Okay, and there we go, and I'm done with my field list, so I just close that. You'll notice that we are obviously not fitting on one page. Also, we've got things that aren't showing up because columns are not big enough. So we're going to save this first, and then we're going to do some editing. So I'm going to call this one listings blank report form. Okay, or report button rather. Click OK. All right, no title on this one as well that you might notice. So I'm going to go ahead and add the title page first. So I click title, and by default it will give me the name of the file at this point, and that's fine. We'll keep that. Click outside of that. I want to go to page numbers. And on this one, I want it to say page N of M. We're going to put it at the bottom. And I'm going to change it from center to the left where the page number will be. Page number will be at the bottom left, and it'll say page 1 of 2, for instance. I'll click OK. Now I've got to deal with these columns. That's part of the problem. So I'm going to start from the left, and I'm going to select the text box. So when you say text box, that's this part. This is the label. So the text box is where the data is. And for this one, I'm going to go into my property sheet, and I'm going to go to the width. Notice that it's 1 inch. So I'm going to put in a new width of 0.62, press enter, and that takes care of that one. If it changes a little bit, like the 6.62, that's okay. We go to footage. Notice this one now changes over, and I'm going to go to format. I think it's a little bit. The width is 1 inch. I'm going to make it 0.5. Give myself a bit more room. I want to make beds and baths both 0.5, so I can do that at the same time. I can do this, hold the shift key down, change the width to 0.5, does both of them, which is what we wanted to do. I'm going to go to address. This one's going to have to be bigger. I'm going to make it 2 inches. Okay, so again, we're flirting with the right side. The list price, make it 1.1, a little bit bigger. Okay, and we're in pretty good shape. We're down to 1 page now. So, say I wanted to look at this, I could go to View and Print Preview and check it out. So it fits on 1 page. Sorry for that. And scroll down, and there's my page number at the bottom, and my total, my title at the top, and then there's my page 2, and there is the bottom of that one as well. Now the question does pop up sometimes, what's this little gray area over here on the right? That gets into some more advanced things in terms of design view, where you can reduce the amount of space needed. If I were to get out of here and get back to my design view, if I wanted to really adjust enough, I would probably just take my right fields and make them a little bit bigger, maybe my address a little bit bigger, and use all that space. So there are some options, and we'll get into some advanced things a little bit in the next one. But that's 4-3, real simple, blank form, simple, using the wizard, simple. Just make sure you're in layout view like we are here to do your formatting. Good luck on 4-3.